Welcome to the latest in the Compliance Factory's series of conversations about anti-money laundering. My name is Adam Samuel, and I'm here with anti-money laundering expert Malachy McClelland. Today we're going to talk about escalation. What is escalation in anti-money laundering work?
Well, within the firms that take on clients, they will have a process where higher risk clients will need signing off by senior management, which would include the MLRO, and other points that need reviewed by senior management.
MLRO being?
The Money Laundering Reporting Officer.
Yeah. So when would you escalate something?
Well, at onboarding, if you take on a client, if you're in the process of taking on a client where you find something that may increase the risk or may not be acceptable to the business, you would ask the senior management for their view on it. Or you might have a high-risk client or a politically exposed person exposure in the client that would require, in the normal course of events, senior management approval.
When typically does a remediation project team have to escalate things?
Well, during a remediation or indeed during ongoing monitoring, if there's some event or issue that comes out in the course of the review that requires senior management review, then that will be escalated.
So you have people that may have been quite low risk when they became customers, but have subsequently become politically exposed persons or close relations of them, or their transaction usage is a little bit different from what was expected.
Yes, other information might come to light during the ongoing monitoring of the client or during a review, such as a periodic review. And if there's some other information that's come to light that increases the risk of that client or increases the high-risk client, then that would be escalated, including other issues around perhaps adverse media, sanctions, potential sanctions breaches. These are ones would need further investigation and perhaps senior management review and sign off.
So the senior management, which includes the money laundering reporting officer, this context, what do they typically do? What are their options?
Well, they will require enhanced due diligence around, assuming they agree that yes, there's an issue around this, or this client is the risk rating has been elevated, or that there is a PEP exposure. They will then require enhanced due diligence, and at that point, then they will decide whether or not to re-risk rate the client, or perhaps to exit the client.
If you exit a client, what does that mean?
Well, it means probably that you've no appetite, no appetite for this client's risk rating. That in fact the risk rating falls outside your acceptable level, so that you would then decide, actually we don't want this. This client doesn't fit into our profile.
In that situation, do you have to send a suspicious activity report on the basis that you're suspecting some money laundering or other financial crime?
Well, if you have identified some potential financial crime, yes, you would, but that's not necessarily, that doesn't arise in every situation. It just may be that the client doesn't fit in within the risk profile that you find acceptable. And you would exit the client on that basis. But again, of course, if there's a suspicious activity going on, or you've identified suspicious activity, then that's a different matter.
So if you do make a suspicious activity report, and you try to exit the client at the same time, which makes a certain amount of sense, can you return the funds to the customer?
Well, you wouldn't exit the client in the middle of the process, because if you've issued an external report to the NCA, the National Crime Agency, then you'd have to wait until the outcome of that. You wouldn't exit the client in those circumstances.
So you wait till the 7 days following the day after your report, and if you get nothing back from the NCA, you exit the client. Are there going to be issues returning funds if the NCA sort of responds in some form by asking you to do nothing for 30 days or something like that.
Well, that's a different issue. Then you don't do any further business with the client, but you've frozen the funds.
You simply wait. Have you ever had experience of the NCA actually essentially freezing an account like that?
Well, I've had situations where the suspicious activity has been confirmed by the FCA and the account is frozen, yes.
I think that takes us to the end of escalation. We've now exited our client at this point, which is the time to exit our video for today. Thank you.